Welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video we're gonna run a health check on a Volvo. Here we have a 2016 Volvo S60. As you can see, there's not that many warning lights on the dash, but that doesn't mean there isn't any issues with this car. So we're gonna run a scan through all the control modules, and we're gonna dive in a couple of them in more detail. So let's take a look. Okay, so what we have done, we have selected Volvo, and then we do Smart VIN, and that allows us to load the correct software for this particular Volvo. So if right here we run quick scan, you have an option to manually select the control module you're going to look at, or you can do a quick scan. And what that does, it goes through all the control modules on this car, you can see here, and looks at the codes, what faults are present. And right here on the right, you have this blue icon. You can click on that, and it gives you the code here, PZ014, and then the description what that is. You can look at any of them. Central electronic module, it's got a number of intermittent fault codes, with the door lock, the central locking, and the keyless. So you can see those, that's an intermittent code, and then ABS intermittent code as well. Now here at the bottom, we can save the report, save it, print it, email it, save to the device or USB, or you can hit erase, and it goes through all these control modules and it will clear codes. So if there are codes that are in stored status or intermittent in this case, they will clear, most likely clear, but intermittent codes will return back when vehicle detects them again. Store codes that will clear, and codes that are current, active, haven't been fixed at all, those will not clear. So what we can do here, I'm going to hit erase, and then you're going to see how a number of these codes will clear, but most likely not all of them. So the central electronic module, those codes cleared. ABS codes cleared, that intermittent code that we had there, SRS code. Let's see if that will clear. And it seems like that. There we go, SRS cleared as well. Just going through all these control modules, and it's clearing the codes. Again, sometimes you might have a code because, like, let's say a low battery voltage or a dead battery, something like that. It's very common to end up with a number of fault codes in different systems. Sometimes you might even end up with an airbag light on because of that, and those codes will be just stored, or passed. What that means is that it was an issue that was happened in the past, but if that code is current, like in this case here, we got a couple of circuit open for the speakers, then those codes are not going to clear, as you can see. But what we can do here, though, we can enter any of these control modules. So let's enter the engine control module, and then we can read codes from that, but there are not going to be any codes now because there was one code in the engine control module, so they're still there. And we're trying to clear this code here. It's not going to clear that without fixing the issue. Freeze frame data, live data as well. Click all data, and you got all this list of data points and sensors that are monitored by the engine control unit. And if you look here, these are the values, what's being recorded. Misfire counter, so there's a misfire. You might not have a check engine light on, but you might have a cylinder that just misfires every intermittently. You're going to have a counter. This value go up here. So this is a pretty long list here. All right, and then let's go back, and you got active tests. These are tests just for the engine control module. So you can turn off, for example, you can change throttle valve and stuff, and you can change the cylinder injectors on and off for testing purposes. So that was the engine control module. So once you're done with that, you want to look at another one, go to the central module. Here we got read codes. We're not going to have any codes there. You can clear them if you had them and fix them. Go to live data, select all, and then you can see the status of the different things. Like, if I press the brake pedal, that should change that value should change live. Stop lamp and so on. So all these values can change live, and this is very helpful if you're doing diagnostics. There's a very long list here, by the way. You can see battery current, how many amps are being the battery is taking or is delivering things. So washer fluid, the CEM on a Volvo is a very critical. It runs a lot of systems on the vehicle. So, and they do actually tend to fail sometimes, and you got a lot of weird, strange electrical issues. They can fail, corrode internally, and might need to be replaced. But here, you can, this screen here under live data can help you with troubleshooting. You got active tests down here at the bottom, and this is where you can turn on and off like headlamps, rear lights, and whatever is being fuel flap, unlock, you know, rear window washer, and a lot of things that are being controlled by the CEM module are gonna, you can control them in there. So that's the module there. Transmission control module, we can read codes, clear codes. Currently no codes there. Go to live data, all data, and you can see temperature, oil, transmission oil temperature. That's a critical one. You need to check if you're checking the transmission fluid level, gear selector, and so on. And you can graph any of this data that you want. You can do multi-graphs. You just hit this arrow here and select whatever you want to graph. Go back, active test, switch solenoids on and off here, as you can see here, and it start, stop, and let's go back. ABS, live data from the ABS, wheel speed sensors. You'll see them right here. Those values change if you were to drive. And let's go back. Active tests. You can activate these valves individually. Left front traction control, ABS pump. Now, if you're doing ABS bleed for, if you worked on replace the ABS line or change the caliber or something like that, ABS pump, you want to go under maintenance on the home screen. Go to maintenance, ABS service, and that's where you'd go to bleed your ABS lines. And then this is the airbag SRS control module. Here you read clear codes. You won't be able to clear codes if you have a let's say you have a code for deployed airbag, or like maybe driver airbag open circuit. You have to fix that issue before you can clear it. Keep that in mind, because with airbags there's no way to clear the codes. Like the engine control unit, for example, you can't clear a lot of codes even if you didn't fix the issue. That code comes back later. Airbag control module, if you don't fix that issue, you can't clear that code at all, even for a moment. So keep that in mind. But that's it. There's a lot of control modules here. Climate control module, your AC, infotainment control module, and so on. So we're not going to go through all of them, but you get the idea. You can enter any of these control modules, read clear codes, live data, and a lot of them have what's called active or bidirectional tests. If we go back here, this is where we selected Volvo. Again, you can do VIN here, and that's easier. You got maintenance though on this screen, and you can do ABS service here. Some of these might not apply to you. Battery registration is not found on Volvos, don't require battery registration. But parking brake release for the rear brakes, if you have electric parking brake, you can use that function to put the rear brakes on service mode. And injector coating, if you got a diesel or direct injection engine, you can do that. So a lot of different tests in here. Some of them might apply, some might not apply to a Volvo. Steering angle sensor and things of that nature. But that's all. Thanks for watching. You can, or you can be the mechanic.